Little Adagio by the Angry Dango of Doom. Prologue. The sky above the three sirens shone with the might of the full moon. The three had been searching for a place to repair their shattered gems for weeks, but it was hopeless. Every store in town told them that it was beyond repair. Adagio grew more and more impatient, as well as angry. They were still banished from Equestria, leaving them to rot in this world. "So," Sonata said with a disheartened voice, "what are we going to do now?" Adagio stopped and slammed her fist in the brick wall, shredding the skin from her knuckles. "I don't know." Her voice dropped. "I don't know." Aria pulled a stack of napkins they got at the fast food restaurant they had ate at and wrapped her bleeding hand with it. "We don't have any magic to repair it, and they won't be able to work here." She tossed the bloody napkin in a bin beside her. Sona held back her tears, knowing she would never feel the embrace of magic again. Cars rushed past the busy street beside them, sending gusts of wind past their saddened beings. "Let's..." Adagio sighed in defeat. "Let's just go home now." The trio traveled back home under the night sky without saying another word. The apartment complex they lived in was decent quality, though both Sonata and Aria shared a room because of Adagio's later status. The lead siren shoved the key in the lock and twisted it angrily, clicking the door open. Her teeth gritted in frustration, counting the events of their downfall. She had gone over the plan in her head. There had been no flaws. She flung the door open and charged off into her room, leaving the others behind without a word. Adagio slammed the bedroom door behind her, climbing to bed and slamming her face into the pillow, groaning loudly in it. She went over the plan hundreds more times, analyzing each portion in full detail, before her mind drifted into a deep slumber. The world around her focused. She looked around. The tall marble ceilings were adorned with beautiful paintings. Statues and suits of armor decorated the perimeter, and the windows overlooked an underwater sanctuary. Her mind recognized it as the City of Sirens, a kingdom long forgotten. She was born there a few thousand years ago, before the banishment. The siren folk were known to cause small-scale havoc, but only to feed. Their kind never planned to harm anyone, or cause widespread chaos. The Equestrian Empire didn't see it that way. They had declared war upon the small kingdom. Adagio, though a small siren filly, snuck away from the safety of her chambers and stole the few artifacts of power that would aid her plans. Gems. Magical red gems that would absorb the discord between ponies to simulate intermediate unicorn magic. Adagio used all the magic within to alter her age, so that she may fool her kind into letting her fight. The magic of the three gems swirled inside her, aging her from young body to that of a siren mare. Though her plan was in vain, she and her allies were quickly overwhelmed, for the siren folk were no match for the might of Starswirl the Bearded and the armies of Pegasi and unicorns. He rallied against them. Not even their underwater palace sheltered them. The siren saw many of her siren folk slaughtered in front of her. few siren mares and children were spared, though banished to many other worlds. Adagio, sonata, and aria were some of the few. The warm sunlight crept in the window through the windows softly, coaxing Adagio from her slumber. The cold, tear-soaked pillow beneath her head prompted the siren to push herself upright quickly. She looked down at her hands. Her purple gloves were exceptionally large, and her sweater fit very loose. She jumped off the bed and ran to her dressing mirror, nearly tripping over her newfound height. She caught herself on the edge of the now head-high dresser, pulling herself on top of it. Adagio's eyes darted over her entire body. The magic finally wore off. She let a blood-curdled scream, prompting Arya to shout, "Shut up! Shut up, Sonata!" from her room. Sonata flung open the bedroom door. "Adagio, what's wrong?" The blue siren froze in place and stared down at the now young leader. Adagio?" Sonata panicked. "Arya, get in here!" Arya grumbled to herself, walking into the room, and shouted, "What?" in Sonata's face. "That!" Sonata pointed to Adagio. "Why are you a child?" Arya snapped awake. Adagio jumped down from the dresser and pulled shards of gems from her jacket pocket. The ruby red hue faded to near black, signifying the loss of every last magic drop. Adagio dropped to her knees, sobbing. "It's finally gone. I have no more magic left." She wiped her tears from her eyes. "Wait," Sonata pieced things together. "Adagio used magic to make herself older?" "Way to go, Sherlock," Arya sarcastically replied. Adagio stood up, wiping tears away again. "My hand hurts." Arya pulled the young girl to the bathroom, where she rustled around the cabinets, pulling band-aids out, then placing them on the girl's hand. After that, she pulled Adagio to the kitchen, where they sat little Adagio on a chair, and took one for herself. She sighed while rubbing her temples. "All right, what's going on here?" Sana joined in. "Yeah, Adagio, what's with you?" Adagio sipped in air, trying to settle herself. I used magic to make myself older, so I could help the sirens before we were banished. But now it's gone." She broke down, crying again. Arya looked at Sonata, trying to piece things together. "So you're saying I've been taking orders from a child?" I was older than you, with my magic." Arya looked down at the table, holding her head with her palms. "Please tell me I'm dreaming." Sonata stood up and walked over to the sobbing child, embracing her in a warm hug while talking baby talk. "It's gonna be alright, little one. Get off me, you big dummy!" She tried pushing Sonata away with her small arms, but the big siren's strength was too much for her. Iris stepped away from the table and poured herself a cup of coffee and drank the bitter goodness. She sighed and watched the two children fight. "It's gonna be a long day," she muttered to herself.